So fun. Say hi.
You guys ready for some stinky eggs?
These are cute. Bless you.
Good morning, and I hope you guys are doing great. Today I'm doing a video on what I eat in a day as a breastfeeding mom. So our twins are currently still 11 months old and they're only breastfeeding besides doing some solids. So I did this recently actually on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me over there, be sure to do that because I share a lot more like day to day of our life. But I did a really recently sharing about like what I ate in a day as a breastfeeding mom, and it seemed to be really like helpful for a lot of people and also just really interesting. So I thought it'd be really cool to do like a full vlog on the things that I am eating in a day. And I do tend to eat a lot, especially because I'm breastfeeding 2 babies. I feel like I'm constantly hungry. It's almost a struggle to feel like full a lot of the time, but I do love having a really good breakfast. And when making breakfast, I'm thinking about trying to have some sort of protein. I love eating eggs for breakfast. I have like a smoothie or something. Yeah. And then I always modify because we do like baby-led weaning, and I just modify what I make for myself for the babies, and then usually something else if I need to. So that's what we had this morning, eggs. And then I also wanted to mention, I showed it I think, but I also take in the morning, I try to do this when I do breakfast, is taking beef liver capsules. And I take those because they're really like nature's multivitamin. Like there's so many benefits. And also I started it when I was pregnant because I couldn't get any other type of like vitamin down. For some reason I could get those down. And I also take a probiotic every morning. So, and I just poured myself a big glass of raw milk. I'm a huge fan of drinking milk. It's such a great source of so many nutrients, but also protein and a really good boost of calories. Like a good glass of milk has like 200 calories and 10 grams of protein, which is pretty good, especially when you need at least like, I think it's like at least 100 a day for breastfeeding or something like that. So yeah. And then I have a coffee, which is kind of surprising because I'm usually a big chai drinker, but I've gotten into coffee lately. So this also has some milk in it. Once I'm done, I'll probably have another little like snack, like some fruit or something when I go hang out with the babies for a little bit outside. You're already getting tired? You open your eyes. And then we only have like maybe 1/4 of sourdough bread left of a loaf. And so I want to make bread today or tomorrow. So I was working on the starter earlier, which is what I showed, but I'm trying to figure out like if I can do that today, if it's gonna be active enough, or if I'll have to wait till tomorrow. Because I put it in the fridge thinking I wouldn't want it for another few days, making it like so I don't have to feed it for a few days, but then I ended up, I'm like, wait, we're actually kind of almost out of bread. So I might end up making bread today or doing it tomorrow, but we'll see.
And the crowd goes wild. Wow. Wow. I'm a Sammy.
So one of my favorite snacks that I eat pretty regularly is avocado toast. And if I don't have bread, I will a lot of times just use crackers or something to eat avocado with. The avocado is just such a good source of fats and calories and just great nutrients. So I will just mash up an avocado in here like this first. And then I personally, like, there's so many things you can add on top of it. Like you could add some bacon for extra protein, add in some veggies like tomato, which I guess is technically a fruit, but tomato, red onion, eggs. There's so many things you could do with it. But one of my favorite things, like fastest ways to do is, so this is actually, I showed this earlier when I was doing our eggs, but this is a little cute little salt. I don't know, I'll see if I can link it. I got it from Target, but it actually has been one of the best things ever because we get Celtic sea salt. I just will have all the salt in here, and I'll do a couple pinches of that. And then something else I like to do is I'll add some olive oil. And actually I got this from World Market and I'm pretty sure they still have it. So I'll link this too if we can. And I'll just drizzle some olive oil in here. See if I have very much left. Probably like a teaspoon's worth, because I feel like it hides it really well, and olive oil is pretty anti-inflammatory, super good for you. So it's just a great way to get a little boost of olive oil. And then if I'm feeling extra fancy and if I have it, I will add like tomato on top, red onion, but I don't think I have, actually I think I do have tomato, which I need to feed to the baby soon. It's one of their favorite snacks because I got some. So I just toasted my sourdough bread in the toaster. And this is something that I actually recently started doing, is sourdough bread making, and it's become such a fun hobby. I am like obsessed. It really is so much better for you than store-bought bread, and it also has a lot of like antioxidants because of the sourdough starter. And then it's usually like, because it's like fermented, I guess, it's easier for a lot of people to digest. So if you typically don't do well with like gluten, a lot of people do really good with sourdough. And obviously homemade is just the absolute best, having like fresh bread. So we used to buy it from a farm, which sounds like we lived way further out than we did, but when we lived in Ohio, there was a farm right around the corner that sold sourdough bread fresh every week. So we used to get it there. And then once we moved to South Carolina, like obviously we didn't have that. So I decided that I wanted to start making sourdough bread. It's just so much, there's so much junk in the bread you buy from stores, unfortunately. So many preservatives. I've been really enjoying that. And then I use, this is from Costco, grass-fed butter. So I put a pretty generous amount of butter. Again, great source of like dairy like that. It's a great source of protein, healthy fats, which are all very important for breastfeeding. So I definitely go very generous on those types of things. So pretty simple, just butter. And then I'm gonna add that avocado right on top. And then I also real quick wanted to show you guys, because I get a lot of questions about where I learned about nutrition and stuff. And it's actually this book, Real Food for Pregnancy by Lily Nichols. Highly, highly, highly recommend. It's so good. I mean, she honestly, even though it says for pregnancy, so I got this when I was pregnant. It was recommended by my midwife. And I really follow a lot of what she talks about in here. It's very science-based. And honestly, it's just great nutrition, even for women in general. Like prior to pregnancy, I wish I had been following this advice. And she even herself, like she's past the stage of having kids or having babies and being pregnant, but she still follows like everything in here pretty much. It's just great like all around nutrition, and eating mainly like whole foods and prioritizing good quality meats and, you know, dairy and stuff like that as well in your diet, and just having a varied diet. And so that's really where I learned a lot of this. And when it comes to pregnancy, protein is so important, like eating a good amount of protein and including breastfeeding. So that's why I still follow a lot of this. Just a lot of like nutrient dense foods, high calories. I eat, when I did that reel on what I eat in a day, it was almost 4,000 calories I eat in a day. And trust me, I burn it all, because making milk for 2 babies plus just being super active, like chasing them around, just keeps me on my toes. So that's where I really learned a lot of just so many good ideas, even like recipes for different foods you can make. So if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, or you just generally want to be eating better as a woman and support your body, highly recommend. I wish I'd been following that beforehand. And I just want to encourage you too, I was thinking about this, everything that she talks about in this book, like there's so many baby steps you can take and changes you can make based on what she talks about. It doesn't mean you have to do everything at once. Like I didn't start regularly eating sourdough bread until like last fall, like 6 months ago. And I was pregnant, like I was already had the babies for a while. So like just because you learn everything, it doesn't mean you have to make all these changes overnight. You can slowly start changing your habits and like the things you're eating so I just don't want you to get discouraged even seeing like where I'm at now and thinking like that's where you have to be. Like it can take you some time to get there, and that's totally okay. We're all on a different journey, right? And so, okay, so basically all that to say, I have been making bread, and I do want to make some bread because it looks like my starter has over doubled since this morning. So I'll probably work on that. And then I'm just eating a snack. I ate breakfast a couple hours, like 2.5 hours ago. So this is like a snack in between breakfast and lunch. Honestly, my lunches usually aren't super big. I'm usually just eating like big snacks throughout the day. And then we usually do a big dinner in the evening. I do drink a lot of like the electrolyte hydration multiplier drink packet thingies. There's so many of them out there, but I recently came across Element. I am obsessed with them. I do really like them. I've tried a few different ones. This is just some leftover I had from last night that I'm going to finish up today, but it helps me to feel so much more hydrated. Like a lot of us do need more of that salt in our diet to feel hydrated, not just chugging water all the time. So I really like them because they're like natural flavors, aren't like chemically engineered flavors that are in their packets. Like it's actually derived from natural ingredients, and so I really appreciate that for like the flavored ones. There's also unflavored ones that don't even have that in there, but I do drink those on pretty much a daily basis. I notice a huge difference in the way that I feel if I don't, so I'll probably finish this and then later I'll drink another Element packet just to feel extra hydrated because it makes me feel so good. Like I'm obsessed. So I'm gonna work on sourdough. So I have a glass mixing bowl. And glass is really helpful because you can see on the sides if it's done, like with the bubbles later on in the process. I use this recipe that came with, I bought a starter from someone I follow on Instagram, Untamed Farm, and I actually bought it a while ago and I just restarted it a couple weeks ago, and that's what I've been using to make bread. And she has a recipe, so we'll link the recipe in the description because I know I get a lot of questions about what recipe I'm using, and I really enjoyed it. Like, from the first loaf, like I feel like it turned out really, really well. Obviously it will take longer if you're starting your own starter. I've heard it takes like a good couple of weeks before you can use it for bread, but with restarting it within like 5 days, I was able to use it, which is so cool. And it turned out really well. So the first step is we're going to get, let's see, I want to do 2 loaves. So I need 200 grams of active and bubbly sourdough starter. So the rubber band on here is when I like fed my starter, which is adding water and flour into the starter. Whenever I did that, it was, I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. Is that where this rubber band is? You can see it's doubled, which it doubled in like it's only been a few hours. So it's really good. Sometimes it can take longer, just depends on your starter, but because it's doubled, that means it's super active and like ready to use. It's super bubbly, so means it should be really, really good for baking. Although there's not as many bubbles as I would expect. But one way you can really test is add a little bit in your lukewarm water, and if it floats, that means that it's ready to use for bread. Excess starter can be used for other recipes, like discard recipes, like cinnamon rolls, pancakes, waffles. What else have I made? Like muffins, croissants, different things like that you can use discard for. Like that's not super active, and actually I have a bunch of extra in the fridge I need to use soon. But okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just test it and make sure the starter is good to use. And if it's good, I'll go ahead and get started. And let's go ahead and add 200 grams of water, 200 grams of this. Let's just add a little bit first to make sure it's like gonna float. Okay, yep, it's floating. Perfect. Oh wait, I need more than 200 grams of water. What am I thinking? I need 700 in here. Quick little Costco haul. I thought this might be helpful because I probably won't eat all of these things today, but these are some of our favorite snacks from Costco that are generally like pretty clean ingredients and healthier, and it's great for breastfeeding. So these apple sauces, which our girls also love those. I really like how there's not a lot of extra ingredients. Okay, and then these That's It little bars. These are amazing. I will probably eat some today. I still have a few left from our other bag. Avocados from Costco have always been great. They usually come a little bit like not very ripe, so I try to get them a few days before I actually need them. Berries from Costco. Ah, so many raspberries. I freaking love raspberries. So does Annabelle. They're like her favorite. So these look amazing. I'm like really excited. I think these organic. Yeah, these ones are organic too, which is awesome. I don't think the blackberries were organic, but I really wanted some, so it's okay. I'll just wash them really well. And then we got a couple bunches of bananas, organic bananas. These are apples. And then I also am trying their all-purpose flour because it's organic. I didn't know they sold that organic. So we're gonna try that. I also am trying this for the first time. It's beets, organic cooked beets already. And the ingredients, from what I could tell, I got this on Instacart today. We normally go into Costco, but for now, the only ingredient is organic beets. So I was like, hey, you know what? If the babies like it, that would be a great baby's food, although it's gonna be really messy. Maple syrup. And then another great snack idea are these Heavenly Hunks. They are so good if you've never tried them. Obviously they have chocolate in them, so some sugar in them, but they have oats, which are great for breastfeeding, and they're just delicious. They're great when I don't have time to make granola bars like I normally like making. This Greek yogurt, I'm not as big of a fan of Greek yogurt, but the babies love it. Michael loves it, so we always get. I'm gonna try Costco's. We normally get it the Chobani plain, so plain not sweetened Greek yogurt, but. And then we have the grass-fed butter like I was just talking about. We get that from Costco. And then we got some bacon here. I think that's about it as far as like good snacks. Michael's making us some dinner. What you eating? Pig ears? Those are not pig ears.
They are.
No, they're not. Show me the package. Are you being serious right now? You're not being serious. Ground steak.
This is just an appetizer.
The steak? Oh, so what are you making for dinner?
Pork chops, veggies, and sweet potatoes.
Yum. So I got kind of carried away with working. I definitely should have eaten a snack earlier than now. But yeah, I'm gonna have some of this.
Pig ears.
Pig ears. And then we'll have dinner here in a little bit. I definitely should have eaten sooner. So yeah, we're eating dinner kind of late, but the girls are still napping, so they're probably gonna be up to like 10 or 10:30. So yeah, so I'll eat a snack now, dinner, definitely snack after dinner before I go to bed. I usually like eat something right before I go to bed because otherwise I go to bed really hungry. So
Babies grow strong and healthy, and pray that you would.
You like that? You like that? You think, Miss Felicity? You like it? Puppies are gonna like it.
okay, so it is a lot later. It is like past 10 o'clock. It's actually almost 11. About to go to bed soon, but I'm hungry. So I'm eating a couple handfuls of pecans, and then I'm also gonna eat a Gala apple, and I also have a glass of milk. So with all of this, once I finish this snack, I was putting it into this app that tells me like how much protein I'm getting and then like calories and all of that. All of this adds up to over 3,400 calories. And I would say that's a pretty typical day. If anything, I feel like today almost felt like I missed a couple of snacks because I got distracted working in the middle of the day. So yeah, so that's a day in the life, what I eat and what's very normal for me to eat, breastfeeding. If you have any questions or you want me to do more videos like this, or even like, I was thinking it'd be fun to do like almost like my favorite breastfeeding snacks like throughout the week or something, just to give even more ideas for you. Let me know if that sounds interesting. But with that, I think this video is complete. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.